everyone, welcome back to Allcarnews, and I am super happy to be giving you guys a full in-depth tour and review this week of one of my favorite and what I think is one of the most underrated SUVs on the market right now, the Maserati Grecale. And I'm super thankful to the folks over at Maserati for letting us test drive this Grecale Trofeo for the course of this week, so I can give you guys my full in-depth reviews, impressions of this absolutely wonderful SUV. And what better trim to have it in than the Trofeo trim with the Nettuno engine under the hood and a whole lot of wild performance that this little SUV is capable of. Now, of course, as always, I'm going to take you guys on a full tour and review of this absolutely wonderful 2025 Grecale Trofeo, and I'll try to convey as to why I feel this SUV is almost in a class of its own. Let's go dive in. So of course, the star of the show here is under the hood with Maserati's unique Nettuno engine. This of course is a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6, and in this application, it's making around 523 horsepower and 473 pound-feet of torque, sending power to all 4 wheels with a very, very rear biased all-wheel drive system through a carbon fiber drive shaft, and of course the Gen 2 ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox that's capable of around 350 millisecond shifts. This car is a baby supercar in SUV format, and it's built upon the bones of the Giorgio architecture, but totally redone from the ground up. This vehicle has air suspension and all new stuff, and of course the unique Maserati Nettuno V6, which has Maserati's also unique twin chamber pre-combustion system for these intakes. So this is really going to allow that boost and the whole cycle of combustion to be a little bit cleaner and more efficient, more tuned for performance and ready to go when you need it. And this engine, in typical Maserati fashion, has just an absolutely wonderful exhaust note. And honestly, in my own opinion, after even test driving the Gran Cabrio Trofeo with a very similar version of this engine, I think this sounds just a little bit wilder and better. So I think the folks at Maserati maybe wanted to make this Grecale Trofeo just a little bit more exciting for day-to-day driving. And this vehicle is not slow whatsoever. It's probably one of the quickest in its class with a 0 to 60 time of under 3.5 seconds, and it can even go up to around 180 miles an hour. This thing is a true performer. Joining me over here on the side of the Grecale Trofeo, we're getting a lot more special stuff here. These are one of the many wheel options you can get on the Grecale Trofeo. These are 21-inch matte style finish wheels here. I think they look gorgeous and really fit the sophisticated nature of the Grecale. And these are hiding these upgraded Furosiere yellow brake calipers right over here with the Maserati script on it, which look absolutely gorgeous. And behind that are these absolutely amazing brakes. They are drilled rotors, as you can see here, but they just work like a charm. They're incredibly good with the brake pedal feel and really good at stopping this vehicle, as it is a high performance SUV. And we also have a staggered tire setup. This one's particularly running on some Bridgestone performance tires here. Up front here, we have 255/40 R21s, and out back there, 295/35. So staggered tire setup on this Grecale Trofeo for a little bit more of a dynamic stance. Also behind this wheel, tire, and brake setup is an incredible suspension. We have an air suspension, an adaptive air suspension with an insane amount of different adjustment modes. There's 2 aero modes, off-road modes, normal ride height. This thing is really impressive. And combined with Maserati's incredible Skyhook adaptive damping system, I really, really think this is one of the best riding SUVs in the segment right now. It's truly fabulous and offers you such a broad range of ride characteristics. And then of course there is the gorgeous exterior of the Maserati Grecale. And up front here we have a lot of nice elements derived from other Maserati models, such as these really unique and distinctive LED headlights over here derived from the MC20 supercar. And since we get the Trofeo package on this particular one, we are getting a nice carbon accented lower bumper accent down here, as well as out back, with just a little subtle nature of sportiness on the exterior, though otherwise it looks largely like a regular Maserati Grecale. They all have this really nice distinctive design to them. You really are only going to be able to tell that this is a Trofeo if you kind of notice these little carbon accents, as well as the giant Trofeo badge on the front fender over here, right above the iconic portholes that Maserati puts in their front fenders. We also really have a nice low and really sculpted hood design up here, as well as a really large opened front grille area with their signature Trident badge over here, which is also hiding our radar adaptive cruise control systems as well. And this is a really nice scallop shape to it as well. Overall, this is a very handsome looking SUV, but let's go see what's going on out back. Coming around to the rear and side profile of this Maserati Grecale, again, a really nice and distinctive design over here. We have this really nice, large sculpted rear fenders, as well as the Maserati Trident in the rear pillar with a very distinctive little red accent right there to let you know that this is, again, a Trofeo model. We're also gonna find carbon fiber side skirts right up below the doors over there. But otherwise, like I said, it largely mimics the rest of the Grecale lineup. Back here, we're also getting, of course, the Maserati script. And down here, we're getting a huge lower carbon fiber bumper area hiding these really distinctive, exclusive to the Trofeo exhaust design here. So it's sort of like a quad exhaust setup, though the inside of the exhaust, actually, it mimics that little point of the Maserati Trident logo right there, which is a really cool design touch there. And of course, all of that carbon fiber looks absolutely gorgeous. It definitely would stand out on another color other than this narrow or black metallic paint finish. But there are an endless amount of paint options you can get on the Grecale with Maserati's Fiero Serie customization program. What's going on in the back trunk area over here? Well, we can pop open our power tailgate. It's pretty quick to operate, and honestly, it's a decent amount of cargo space. It is not the largest in the class whatsoever, but I really don't see any issue with storing suitcases, regular grocery shop runs. You have plenty and plenty of space back here. We also are getting plenty of cargo tie-down points, which are actually metal. They feel quite nice. We have LED illumination in here as well, even on the upper portion of the trunk. And opening up this floor area over here, you're gonna find a little bit tiny more extra storage, as well as your battery pack, which is located in the rear. But otherwise, really nice cargo space. We can also fold down that second row to get a little bit more of some cargo storage. And each seat can fold down individually to really customize how you really want your rear storage space to be. But let's go check out this gorgeous interior of the Grecale, because this is where it really comes together and feels like a nice, fine Italian suit. Now, of course, getting into the rear end of our Maserati Grecale we have right now, let's check out the key fob real quick. Really nice key fob that Maserati is doing now. It almost feels like it's wrapped in like this leather kind of feeling material. It feels very heavy, very premium. Maserati Trident over there. Of course, we have keyless access entry on the Grecale. And popping open to the rear doors. Let's see if we have keyless access back here. No, I believe we have to go to the front door. There we go. We can unlock the doors right there by that. Popping open this rear door, of course we have privacy glass. Nice, large, wide opening rear door as well. Not a full 90-degree angle, but it definitely opens nice and wide. And you'll notice down back here is how you'll fold down your rear seats, as well as you have a nice aluminum side sill plate over here. Now, hopping into the rear seat, getting in and out is really easy over here in the Maserati Grecale. And again, you're treated to a wonderful door panel over here, fully covered in leather, which I really like to see. This gorgeous open pore wood trim we have on this particular one, and our metal Sonos Vapor speaker system. We have 21 speakers in the vehicle. Let's close up the door. Nice solid thunk there. Really like that sound there. And again, these door panels are just amazing. We have this nice kind of stitched leather on the over panel over here, and this entire upper panel over here is stitched as well with this nice contrasting gray stitching. We have our controls over here, lock, unlock, as well as power window, and our door opening little button right here, which has a nice click to it. And that's how you open up your door. Really nice sound there. Harder plastics down here, but that's, I think, fine. It's going to be a more hardwared area. And we have another speaker. Behind the seats, lots of room actually in the back of the Grecale. Again, really nice stitching on the back of these seats, all leather, very soft. And back here, this is actually not a real like plastic material. It's actually this kind of nice feeling material. We have cutouts here for our legs and knees, and some storage back here. Then the inside is soft and felt lined. Really like that a lot. Again, lots of foot space as well in the back of the Grecale, and our center console area over here is also quite cool. So we have our own air vents back here, as well as our own heated seat controls on the side panel, and as well as climate controls in this little touchscreen panel back there, which is really nice. And coming down here, we have a USB-C and a USB-A support. The seats themselves back here are also quite comfortable, the same nice leather material we can find up front as well. This one has the upgraded embroidered Maserati Trident logo in the headrest here, and the same contrast stitching. Of course, this can all be customized as well. Find that same stitching over here. Pulling down our center armrest, we're going to find 2 cup holders and what I think looks like a phone slot there as well, which is kind of cool. Nice felt lining on the inside of there too. So everything has a nice trim and detail to it in the Grecale. And on the upper portion over here, we have these interior LED lights as well as a grab handle hook. And you can find more speakers even behind the headrest as well as part of the system. And have a look at this huge panoramic glass roof here, and that entire front portion up there does indeed open. So you have a really nice open airy cabin for passengers in the Grecale. Headroom is really fantastic, and like I mentioned, you have so much foot space. You can really stretch out back here and be comfortable, as these seats are really supportive and comfortable as well. But let's go hop up front and see what's going on the front end of this Grecale. Let's pop open our doors right here once more. A nice little solid click sound there, and see what's going on the front end. So again, popping open this door card. Before we hop inside, I just want to quickly point out, again, lots of similar nice treatment up here, just as we saw out back, except up here, this entire lower portion is actually covered in the leather as well. You can see the stitching, unlike the rear door. So this has extended leather up front, and we're getting these absolutely colossal Sonus Faber speakers in this really gorgeous iron metal trim with these laser etched patterns. Sonus Faber has told us that these are designed in a way to help promote the sound quality. So how the sound comes out of these speaker grills actually is really cool, and it's all based off this design they have etched into here. So we have this really nice logo right there as well, and a giant piece of open pore wood. Same side aluminum plate right here, which is really nice with Maserati. And of course, these seats up front here are really nice and comfortable. Very nicely stitched in this leather, as you can see over here. And of course, we have those same embroidered headrests. But let's hop inside. Again, getting in and out of the Grecale is really easy, actually. You have nice big open exit points. Same nice solid thunk back here as we find up front. And here is our new generation Maserati cockpit. We've seen this quite a few times before, but let's start up the vehicle. You're going to find that with this nice little blue engine start stop button that is almost like pulsing right here on the steering wheel. It has a nice click to it as well. Grecale opens on, and of course our mirrors unfold there. So what are we dealing with in this interior? So in our driver zone area up front here, this is of course the newer generation of Maserati stuff. We saw this in the Grecale Trofeo we had on this channel. Really nice leather wrapped steering wheel here with perforations style on the side for the grips. We're also again going to find our stop button there and our drive mode selector right here. So we have a few different drive modes, all the way from Corsa, which is a little bit aggressive, to Sport, GT, Comfort, as well as there's even an off-road mode, and that coordinates with our air suspension. So we can go to our height adjustment and our lower screen over here, and we can adjust from Aero 2, 1, normal, off-road 1, and off-road 2. So this has quite a few adjustments there in terms of drive modes, and they do totally different things. These are real drive modes. Maserati even has a drive mode explorer in our center console touchscreen, so to really kind of give you an idea of what's going on between all those drive modes. And we can adjust the suspension damping really easily on the fly with the little button right there. On the steering wheel as well, we're also going to find all of these controls over here for our digital cluster, and the right hand side for our radar adaptive cruise control. This one's pretty nice because we have quite a few adjustments on this display, so we can change everything in this center console screen. So we can put a map up there, we can put in our speed and a whole bunch of other performance information, and it's way more configurable than that, because then you can also customize this left little panel over here to be a whole bunch of different widget designs, which is really cool. And even further, you can press this button and change the entire cluster layout from this evolved style. So that looks pretty nice and clean. And we can also go to our relaxed view, which is a total full screen design. So this can kind of fill up the whole screen with the navigation if you want, or really any other display. So that's a really cool level of customization here. And of course, this changes with each of the all drive modes as well. No heads-up display on this particular one. It is missing that package actually. So this is not a fully loaded Grecale Trofeo. We also don't have a wireless charger in this particular vehicle or a 360 camera. So I would definitely option those if I was buying a
Maserati, especially if it's over $100,000. But I have to say the attention to detail is really welcome in this cabin. It's really, really nice in here. Again, this entire upper dash portion is this gorgeous stitched leather. I love how this Maserati clock just kind of sits within the dash up here. And even the air vents are really well designed in here. Very easy to use, manual controls, nice clicks, and they have a nice design that kind of flows throughout the upper portion of the dash. That's all ambient lit at night. So it's a really nice look there. And of course, this gorgeous digital Maserati clock here can be configured via this lower display as we saw in the Grand Cabrio. You can configure it to be a clock, a compass, pedals, G-meter, and the clock also has 3 different designs from sport, a design theme, and a classic theme. You can see how quickly this changes on the actual clock here. You can see it's just an instant design change right there, which is really cool. And it also becomes our virtual assistant. If we tap this button here, you can see a little kind of voice icon pop up there, which I think is really cool as well. So this is probably one of the best uses of a clock design in a modern vehicle. I think Maserati is still killing it with this. I really, really like this design quite a lot. And it has this nice surround around it. The side portion of the dash over here in the Grecale is also gorgeous. It's really nice stitching design, and the leather, again, all leather up here. We have our glove box over here, all felt lined, which is really nice. Nice solid closing sound, and we have manual locking on that. And even on this center console panel over here, we're going to find this really nice, gorgeous stitching with this Maserati, almost like a button there, looking like though it's holding the dash together. And all the quality in the Grecale is absolutely incredibly solid. The dash, the door panels as well, no creaks and rattles in here, literally whatsoever. This is a high quality, well-built, modern interior, and it's very, very welcome to see, especially in this segment that's kind of cheapening out a little bit in some areas. Maserati is not doing that anymore. This is a really, really nice space. This center console touchscreen is really, really fantastic. I think it's nice. We saw it in the Grand Cabrio. I've seen it in the Grecale when it launched a few years ago as well. It still works in the same great way. The only complaint I still have is I really am not a fan of these push buttons for our shifter. These screens are super responsive. Like I mentioned, we have our clock controls in here, our seat controls, memories in there, all of our light controls in there. You can turn on and off this haptic touch sound, but I actually like it. I turned it on for this car. We can control our rear climate as well. All of our ambient lighting colors are in here, which is nice, and interior illumination, of course our air suspension, and of course our climate controls. So we have all of our climate information in here. You can turn it on and off. Really easy to use. I like how it's dedicated on the screen. It makes it a lot easier to find. Heated, ventilated seats up front here. So great stuff in the screen. This screen's also really nice. It's probably the quickest version of this software I've ever seen. Really quick and easy to use, very snappy, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. We also are going to have all these fun performance pages and gauges in here, so that's really cool to play around with. And all this fun stuff you can actually input onto your home screen as widgets over here. So I put torque management, accessory gauges, consumption history, but you can literally put anything on here. And there's just so many other apps and stuff that kind of favorite and scroll throughout the vehicle. You can really kind of set up all this stuff how you want it, which is really nice. And as I mentioned over here, you can see some more car level information such as your drive mode explorer. So it's going to take you on all of the different dynamics of all of the drive modes, because they are so different and they all have these really cool graphics to them as well, which I think is a really nice little touch. It's kind of showing where you should be driving your Grecale in each drive mode, which is a fun little touch there. But otherwise, I really like this infotainment system. No complaints with it whatsoever. It works. I never have any issues with it. I think that's what you like. What you should be getting in a infotainment system these days. We have a volume knob here, which is a haptic touch. It actually works well. It's probably one of the easier ones to use, and it's always there. It's not like dim. We can turn on and off this whole system, and of course we have a button right here for our hazard lights. You can hear that really unique Maserati turn signal chime right there. It sounds like Italian horns honking. Down here, I think we would have a wireless charger here if we'd had that option, but we don't on this particular one. And this one opted for this open pore wood trim, which I have to say looks gorgeous, though I don't know if it fits the Trofeo. This actually comes standard with carbon fiber, but this is a gorgeous piece right here. Thick piece of open pore wood, this metal kind of opening point here to open up this little center console. And you can see how thick that wood veneer actually is. It's actually quite thick, which that's kind of nice to see with the metal inlays. Nice felt lined little storage cubby over here with 2 charger ports, which is nice. We have 2 huge cup holders over here, and I love how they're trimmed in real metal, even on the inside as well, and not just plastic. This is a really nice premium touch, I think, and they're huge and they can fit all normal cups. Our center armrest, of course, stitched in leather. Opening this up, really nice open space over here, felt lined. You can see nice amount of space in here, a 12-volt socket, and we have a port right there where we can place our Maserati key fob to kind of access the vehicle as well. So that's a really nice touch. And overall, this entire cabin, I think, is so nice. It feels like a fine, tailored, custom suit. And of course, this is an entry-level spec, I would say, to this interior. You can do endless amounts of wild options in the Grecale, and that's really why you would kind of go for this vehicle over some other competition, is you really have endless amounts of customizable options in this interior with Maserati's Fury Series bespoke program, as well as stuff in the configurator. You can really kind of customize the colors, the stitching to how you want, which is really nice. We also have a panel up here for all of our controls for our large panoramic glass roof. Lots of great, really bright interior illumination as well. And our headliner is in this soft micro suede-esque material. Same thing with our visors up here as well with LED lighting on them. Let's see if they do slide back. Ah, yes, they do. Good job, Maserati. And otherwise, you know, like I mentioned, this is a really nice space. Definitely go check out a Grecale interior. Take one for a drive. I think it's totally worth it, and it will definitely make you realize how I think this is one of the most underrated SUVs on this segment right now. It's so comfortable, really good driving position, really great visibility all around you, and a gorgeous interior to spend your time in. Let's go take this thing out on a drive and see how it is out on the road. So to wrap up our week in the Maserati Grecale Trofeo, let's go take this thing on a drive. Of course, it's in drive now via our push button gear selector here, and we can head off onto the roads and enjoy our drive in the Grecale Trofeo. Now, this thing is a true monster, 523 horsepower, and around 457 pound-feet of torque, and all of that comes from this Nettuno twin-turbo V6 powertrain under the hood, and that is the heart of this beast. And of course, that's being sent through an 8-speed automatic gearbox to all 4 wheels, and it does so in a way that's very, very rear-wheel drive bias. And now, one thing I will note about this vehicle is that it has a very similar driving profile and overall characteristic to the Grand Cabrio Trofeo that we drove. Like I mentioned, we have all these different drive modes to cycle through. So we have GT, comfort, there's even off-road mode, as well as a sport and a Corsa. I found myself driving it in GT mode most of the time. Comfort's a little too street oriented, I would say. It's a little bit too restrained. Your throttles reduced a lot, steering softened up. GT, I think, is a nice blend between sport and comfort modes. We have our drive mode Explorer actually in our center console over there, which gives us some really cool animations and stuff to tell you what's going on between all the drive modes, which I think is a fun little feature there. And of course, the wildest 2 modes, sport and Corsa, are really going to allow you to open up the Grecale Trofeo's powertrain and engine. But even as you can see here in GT trim, it makes a lot of wonderful noises out of this system, and especially this exhaust. It really surprised me on the Grecale Trofeo over the course of this week. Of course, you can really adjust the engine yourself with these massive metal paddle shifters we have behind our steering wheel right here, so you can play around with the gears in this 8-speed. Really quick shifts, actually, I have to say. Downshifts are okay. I would say upshifts are a little bit more responsive than the downshifts. Definitely in sport and Corsa mode, though, is where you're going to notice those really snappier upshifts on this Grecale Trofeo. But around town, this car just drives amazing. We have all of these different air suspension adjust modes, from all the way down to 2 lower aero modes, normal, and 2 higher off-road height settings. So you have a lot of adjustment here, and this is in combination with both, of course, this adaptive air suspension and the adaptive dampers, Maserati's Skyhook adaptive damper settings, which means that I could be in sport and I can press this little damper button right here, and this adjusts my dampers to soft instantly, so I'm not having my whole body and head bobble around when I want a little bit more of an aggressive driving and not necessarily that stiffer control throughout the entire vehicle. But you can do that, and it does actually change up the control of this vehicle quite well. And I really like their adaptive content gauge here. We can have a little Ghibli actually as all the follow vehicles around in the screen. I think that's a really fun little touch there. So nice, good stuff with these infographics in the screen. And the second you want any kind of fun, you really can, like I mentioned, pop it into that sport and Corsa mode. Really awakens the vehicle. Steering sharpens up a bit. And the exhaust note from this engine is truly, truly insane. That's quiet. That is a quiet exhaust on this particular mode right now. It gets so much louder, especially about 4,000 RPM. It has that really signature, I would say, Maserati like snarl and growl to the V6. I really like it. It really, really enhances the overall experience of this vehicle. Also, what's really nice that I've noticed about this Grecale Trofeo, and overall in the Grecale lineup, is the steering is incredibly precise and sharp. And this has a great front end to this vehicle, and with the staggered tire setup, I think the stance on the road is just overall really great as well. Let's test out the voice commands system here. So this is really cool. We actually have this clock turns into like a voice command screen right there. Turn off climate control.
I've turned off the climate control.
Thank you. Okay, it works with some commands. I've tested it out with a few other more complex things. Doesn't like to do it all the time, but it does work, and the graphic and the response and the quickness of all these screens is awesome. It's really, really good. Heading out here onto the highway now, we'll get a little bit of a better taste for this exhaust system. So I get, again, really quick shifts here from the ZF 8-speed. It holds gear as well, especially you can lock it in manual mode, which is a nice touch. All right, have a listen to this, guys. That is not fake exhaust sound there. That is all real exhaust sound from this Grecale Trofeo. I absolutely love it. Really awesome stuff coming out of this vehicle. And coming out onto the highway out here, finally, pop it back into GT mode. I think that's really where this mode is super suited well. This car is a wonderful grand tourer in that aspect. And I think that's what really makes a vehicle a Maserati at the end of the day. Can it do a grand tour properly? And this car can. And in that aspect, I think it's one of the best Maseratis alongside the Grand Cabrio and Gran Turismo to do so. I think it's even better than those cars in some aspects, actually, just as it has all of this large storage space as it is a SUV format. This is, in my own opinion, leaps and bounds and galaxies better and different than Levante. It's just an overall, it's just a better car in every single way. It drives sharper, suspension's much more tuned in and calibrated, really flat and kind of well planted, I feel, in the corners. The air suspension is just wonderful to use and kind of play around with. And on the highway here, you just get this really nice sense of just stability, confidence in going in your day-to-day basis. Now, one thing, the steering is really quick. It's really sharp, and even in GT and comfort modes, minimal inputs really do move the car around quite a lot because this front end's so quick. But you just kind of let it sit in a straight line and it just goes. And it has, again, that really wonderful European vehicle feel, higher end vehicle feel, where you can just sit on the highway at higher speeds, highway speeds, and not feel like you're going those speeds. You feel isolated, you feel comfortable. The seats are soft and comfortable. The leather is amazing. You have ventilation and all these great luxury features. But again, we do have radar adaptive cruise control on this particular Grecale Trofeo with kind of the lane keep assist, active lane management. It's not the system where it's going to steer assist for you, or, you know, automatic change lanes for you, but it works really well. It's just a regular radar adaptive cruise control. I believe there is an upgraded system you can actually get on the Grecale as well. So you can really choose between these systems and the options, but I've experienced both and they both work really well. So that's good to see. But overall, I really do think this is a fabulous SUV that I think more people should go out and consider. I know some people have this, you know, built-in perception of the Maserati brand or reliability or any of these things, but it's just so different now, and I really, you know, encourage you to go out and try out one of these cars because I think they're just fantastic. The tech is just awesome. The interiors are a really and true breath of fresh air to get into, because a lot of these competitors, and you know, not necessarily at this price point, they've just kind of gone down a little bit in quality, gone down a little bit in uniqueness and style, and you get all of that in the Maserati, and you can customize it as well to your liking, and I really like that about this vehicle. And it drives well, and it's insanely fast. I almost want to say there's this signature Maserati driving feel that reminds me even so much of the Grand Cabrio Trofeo that we reviewed on this channel. This is from the steering wheel to all the inputs and controls to the driving position. It reminds me a lot of that vehicle, almost jacked up into an SUV format, and that is a good thing in all the ways. It drives just like that, in that sense of that Maserati-esque experience. So really impressed with this car over the course of this few days that we've had, and not even a full week, but huge thanks to Maserati for letting us drive this Grecale Trofeo, and I hope to get some more cool Maseratis down the road to let you guys check out on the channel. As always, as we head off onto the highway, thank you guys for watching Allcarnews, and thank you guys for watching Allcarnews, and of course make sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more coming soon. Cheers.